My name is Emily, and I'm 37 years old. I've been married to my husband, Michael, for 19 wonderful years. We've built a simple, happy life together in the small town of Oakwood, where we both grew up. Michael is 59 years old, quite a bit older than me, but our age difference has never been an issue. From the moment we met back in college, we just clicked. He was kind, hardworking, and so caring, especially once we started our family. We have 2 beautiful daughters. Our eldest, Emma, is 18 years old now. She's a smart, sensitive girl who has always been close to both of us. Our youngest, little Lily, is only 1 year old. Having a newborn in the house again has been both a joy and an adjustment. But Michael and I have cherished every moment. For the most part, our lives have followed a comfortable, predictable rhythm. Michael works long hours at the local factory to provide for us, while I stay home to take care of the house and the girls. It's a traditional setup, but it's worked well. We may not have a lavish lifestyle, but we've always had what we needed: a roof over our heads, food on the table, and most importantly, each other. At least that's how it used to be. Lately, everything has changed, and I feel like I'm living in a nightmare that I can't seem to wake up from. It started a few months ago, when I made an unsettling discovery. I was doing some routine cleaning and decided to check Michael's phone, something I'd never done before. But something told me to look, and I'm so glad I did. What I found shattered my heart into a million pieces. There, in his call log and text messages, was evidence of an affair. Michael had been regularly communicating with a woman, someone the same age as me, with a young daughter of her own. Worse yet, she was also married. I couldn't believe my eyes. How could the man I've loved and trusted for almost 2 decades do this to our family? When I confronted Michael about it, he immediately went on the defensive. At first, he flat out denied the whole thing, claiming I was making up problems where there were none. But I knew the truth, and eventually he admitted it. He had been seeing this other woman behind my back. The worst part was his attitude about it. Rather than show remorse, he simply told me that he would end the relationship when he was ready, not when I wanted him to. I felt so powerless, so betrayed. All those years we'd spent building a life together, and he was willing to throw it all away for some fling. As if the emotional turmoil wasn't enough, the financial strain is also taking a huge toll. You see, our apartment is in my name, but Michael and I pay the rent together. With our second child, our expenses have increased significantly, and we rely on Michael's income to make ends meet. But instead of using that money to support our family, I discovered that Michael has been spending it on gifts and fancy dinners for his girlfriend. When I asked him about the dwindling funds in our account, he brushed me off, saying not to worry about it because he would handle it. Now we're barely scraping by. I had to take a leave of absence from my part-time job at the local library to care for baby Lily, and the child support payments we've been receiving will be ending soon. I'm terrified about how we're going to pay the rent and keep a roof over our heads. Michael doesn't seem the least bit concerned. He's too wrapped up in his new relationship. Our older daughter, Emma, is just as devastated as I am. She's tried talking to Michael, begging him to end the affair and come back to us, but he just gets angry and yells at her. It breaks my heart to see the pain and shame in her eyes. She's withdrawn from her friends, and I worry constantly about the long-term impact this is having on her. Little Lily, bless her heart, is still too young to fully understand what's happening. but I can't help but worry about her future. I want her to grow up in a happy, stable home. But right now, our family is anything but. I've reached out to my best friend, Sarah, for advice, and she's been so kind and supportive. She's the one who suggested I leave Michael, for my own sake and the girls. But that's easier said than done. Without his income, I genuinely don't know how I'd be able to support myself and the kids. We have a loan on the apartment that's in my name, and I can't afford the payments on my own. My own family has been encouraging me to stay strong, telling me that maybe Michael will come to his senses and return to us. But deep down, I'm afraid that won't happen. He seems far too invested in this other relationship, and I worry that he'll choose her over us every time. Some days, the stress and heartbreak are almost too much to bear. I can barely sleep or eat, and I've become physically ill. The future feels so uncertain, and I don't know which way to turn. All I want is for my family to be whole again, for Michael to remember the love we shared and choose us. But right now, that feels like an impossible dream. I've tried to talk to Michael again, to appeal to the man I married, the one who used to be so loving and devoted. But he's changed. He doesn't seem to care about how his actions are affecting me and the girls. When I bring it up, he just gets angry and shuts down the conversation. It's like he's a completely different person. One day, a few weeks ago, Michael just didn't come home at night. He said he was working late, but I didn't believe him. I stayed up all night, worried sick, and in the morning when he finally showed up, he was irritable and defensive. When I asked where he'd been, he snapped at me to stop asking questions. Another time, Michael told me he wanted to go on a trip. I asked if I could join him, but he said no. He wanted to go alone. I was so hurt and confused. Why didn't he want me there? I can only assume it was so he could spend time with his girlfriend without me finding out. The financial strain has also been taking a major toll. I've noticed that we have less and less money in our account each month, and when I've asked Michael about it, he brushes me off, saying I shouldn't worry, because he'll handle it. But I know exactly what's happening. He's spending our family's money on his mistress. I checked our bank statements, and sure enough, there are charges for expensive dinners, gifts, and other luxuries. Meanwhile, we're struggling to pay the rent and keep food on the table. It makes me sick to my stomach that he's prioritizing his affair over our own children's well-being. The stress of all this has started to physically manifest itself. I've been having trouble sleeping. My appetite has plummeted, and I just feel constantly exhausted. I finally went to see my doctor, who told me that I need to find ways to reduce my stress levels before it makes me seriously ill. But how can I relax when my entire world is falling apart? Every day is a battle, trying to hold my family together while also processing the immense pain and betrayal I feel. I love Michael with all my heart, but I don't know if I can ever forgive him for this. Our older daughter, Emma, is suffering just as much as I am. She doesn't understand why her father is behaving this way, and it's breaking her heart. She used to be such a happy, social girl, but now she's withdrawn from her friends and barely smiles. I catch her crying in her room sometimes, and it kills me that I can't do more to ease her pain. And poor little Lily. She's too young to grasp the full situation, but I worry constantly about how this turmoil will impact her. I want her to grow up in a loving, stable home, but right now, our family is anything but. I fear the lasting damage this could have on her. I've talked to my best friend Sarah about all of this, and she's been an incredible source of support. She's the one who first suggested that I leave Michael, for my own well-being, and that of the girls. But that's so much easier said than done. Without Michael's income, I simply don't know how I'd be able to support myself and the kids. Our apartment is in my name, but we pay the rent together. I can't afford those payments on my own, especially now that I've had to take a leave of absence from my job. And with Lily still being so young, I don't know how I'd manage working full-time. My own family has been encouraging me to stay strong, to give Michael one more chance to come to his senses. They believe that deep down, he still loves us and will eventually choose his real family over this other woman. But I'm not so sure. He seems so callous and disconnected from our life together. Some days, the pain and uncertainty are almost too much to bear. I find myself lying awake at night, replaying everything over and over in my mind. How did we get here? Where did I go wrong? And most importantly, how do I find the strength to keep going, for my daughter's sake, if not my own? I know I have to try, for Emma and Lily. They need me to be strong, even when I feel so weak. But it's a constant battle, trying to keep my composure and not let them see just how devastated I am. I want to be the rock they can cling to, but some days I'm barely holding it together myself. If only Michael would open his eyes and see the damage he's doing, not just to me, but to our girls. If he would just come back to us, choose us over his mistress, maybe we could find a way to heal. But right now, that feels like an impossible dream. He seems too far gone, too consumed by this other relationship. I've tried everything I can think of to get through to him, to appeal to the man I married. But he just shuts down, gets angry, and lashes out. It's like he's a completely different person now, and I don't know how to get my Michael back. All I want is for my family to be whole again. I want to wake up next to the man I love, to see my girls smile and laugh without a care in the world. I want us to go back to our simple, happy life, the one we built together over all these years. But that feels like it's slipping further and further out of reach. Instead, I'm left with this constant ache in my heart, this overwhelming sense of loss and betrayal. I feel so powerless, so alone in this battle. And the worst part is, I have no idea how it's all going to end. Will Michael come to his senses and choose us? Or will he continue down this path, destroying everything we've built? I wish I had the answers, but right now, I'm just taking it one day at a time, focusing on doing what I can to keep my girls afloat. They're the ones that matter most, and I'll do whatever it takes to protect them, even if it means having to let go of the man I've loved for nearly 2 decades. It's been such a difficult journey, filled with so much pain and uncertainty. But I have to believe that there's light at the end of this dark tunnel. For Emma and Lily's sake, if nothing else, I have to keep going. I won't give up on my family without a fight. They're worth too much to me. So I'll continue to lean on my friends and family, to seek solace and strength wherever I can find it. And I'll keep hoping, praying, that one day Michael will wake up and choose us, his true family. Until then, I'll keep holding on, determined to see this through, no matter how hard it gets. Thanks for watching. If you liked this story, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'd love to know what you think, so leave a comment with your thoughts. See you in the next video.